Hello, and welcome to a special episode of the Conversation Capital with myself, Ursula Mariadi, and the voice of reason, Ubonga Bueta. Unjani sis?
Yeah, phila sisi njani.
Lavona, all of the background is different. Righty. Do you want to tell them where we are?
We are at the Gauteng Provincial Legislature.
Yes, so we're at the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, and we're really just covering awards called the Vita Basadi Awards. This is the 10th annual award, and you know, it's really been a great learning for us to learn what exactly the Gauteng Provincial Legislature is, what is it that they do, and what are the Vita Basadi Awards about. And I've really just learned so much over the course of today. The awards are actually happening outside us. We're going to be throwing in a few snippets of the actual award ceremony. And so we're here to oversee and just, you know, highlight the work that they're doing. Some of the things that we're going to get into, we definitely want to chat to somebody from the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. We're going to be chatting to the Honorable Moipone Mhlongo, who is the chairperson of the education portfolio. Yeah. And so we want to chat to her and just find out what exactly is the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. Because, you know, we throw these words around and it's like, what does it all really mean? You know, I don't even want to get into mini parliament of the Gauteng. I want you guys to hear it from her and really just the work of the Vita Basadi Awards and what it is to highlight some of the amazing work that women are doing in our communities. That's basically what the Vita Basadi Awards are. Some of the categories around the awards, Bong, if you could just go through that.
We have the Community Builder of the Year, Women of Honor Award, Unsung Legend Award, the Guardian Award, Innovative Educator Award, the Speaker Special Award, Lifetime Achievement Award. Those are the awards. And we are covering the community
Heroine Award.
I didn't say that word because I've been struggling.
Morgan's been struggling all
day. Heroine. Guys.
Basically, it's like the female version of a hero, you know, a female hero in the community that's really just been doing amazing work and reading up on these women's profiles. I mean, there's one specifically who's like significantly younger than us.
27.
Yeah, and she's doing great work. Not that we're significantly older than 27, but she's doing great work. and just highlighting the work that these people are doing. And then there's the opposite end. You know, we're going to be chatting to Mama Silo, who's much older, and she's also doing amazing work. So we're really just in this space, and we're so grateful to be here. I think we live in a society where as soon as you turn on the TV, as soon as you turn on YouTube, there's so much bad news that's always being highlighted.
What's wrong in our society? What's wrong in our government?
And it's not that it's not necessary for us not to know those things, but we're saying, can we take an opportunity to highlight what's beautiful in Gauteng and to highlight what's beautiful in South Africa? And so journey with us as we delve into the Vita Basadi Awards. And so our first guest to really just explain what the Gauteng Provincial Legislature is the chairperson of the education portfolio within the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, Honorable Moipone Mhlongo. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am awesome, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so nice to see a young person in these seats. You know, when they said Honorable Moipone Mhlongo is coming, we immediately thought it must be an older woman. And then you walked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is somebody we can chat to and we can relate to, you know. And it's so nice to see that people like you are sitting in these seats. So hi, how are you?
Hey. It's great to be here, you know. It's so nice to have an interview where it's like chilled vibes. It's people that you can relate to. It's a different setting from everything that we are used to. It's great to be here today.
Awesome. So maybe if you can just walk us through your journey. I think the portfolio that you hold is really important. We also want to step into the seat of what is the Gauteng Provincial Legislature. But before we get there, maybe let's talk about you personally, your journey up to this place where you can call yourself chairperson of the education portfolio.
Maybe my journey actually started, I was in grade 7. That was my grade 7 teacher, Mr. Chaka, bless his soul. He taught us natural science and technology. So he came like with the topic, do an assignment, African Renaissance. Africans coming together to have African solutions to African problems that is inclusive of us. So I guess it caught me, and then I started my journey of activism. Then I went into high school. I was in debate societies. I was in an organization called COSAS, which is the Congress of South African Students, where we would fight for rights of learners, where we were in the townships and, you know, led through those ranks, started being active in the governance of the school through contesting for RCL, became president at grade 9, in fact, of my high school. So I just saw that, you know what, this is something that I'm actually passionate about. Post high school, one went to varsity, continued my activism, joined a political organization, the African National Congress, which is the party that I'm representing in the legislature. But as someone that's young and has always been passionate about education, my mantra is social justice through education, because I believe there's so many things that we can be able to achieve through education. I'm a child that comes from humble beginnings, from the dusty streets of Etwa. It was through education and reading and opening up to the world that I could see that, hey, there's a better world. But, just being passionate about being active in society and being someone that makes a difference. I like things. So I think that African license thing made me think, who takes these decisions of, all of these countries? And then it made me want to be part of the decision making from quite a young age. I led in varsity, I led the South African Students' Congress as the Secretary General at some point, but have always been consistently passionate about working for our people and ensuring that the next person, there's someone to fight for them, because at times we're not always able to fight for ourselves. So I've always been that child that grew up in activism, and I don't think it's something that one is going to let go of. When we've now become politicians, some of us forget that we were activists before we were politicians. So it's something that is quite important for me even today, to always remain an activist first before being a politician.
So somebody sitting at home saying, okay, I'm hearing there are many words, and they're also hearing African National Congress, and they're saying, what exactly is the Gauteng Provincial Legislature? Because I think for me it was also a very much a learning experience when I was covering the state of the province address, to say, oh, okay, this is a completely different entity, and it's not as political as one would expect. It's actually a body that, let me not answer the question. What is the Gauteng Provincial Legislature?
So I think there's been a lot of interest from our people in Parliament of late, and we've seen a lot of activism in the oversight committees, especially in Parliament. We've seen quite a number of people are now speaking about what's happening in Parliament, which is quite important, especially for us as young people, because most times we'd see Parliament as a retirement village for old people, and we were never really interested. But these are the platforms that take decisions on our behalf. So basically, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature is a parliament at a provincial level, because we are used to the national parliament, but our mandates are derived from the constitution, and we are given a mandate of, number one, to make laws, lawmaking. For example, if there's any bill or there is any act that's going to come and be taken down as an act before the president can be able to publish those acts, they will go to the national parliament, but they will come to the provinces so that we have stakeholder engagements and engage with the public to check if these are the laws that you think that would work for you as an ordinary South African. So we must have consultations, and we must go through those laws as well and make our own opinions as the legislature. So that's the first part of our work. We are in lawmaking. Secondly, we have a role in oversight. Maybe making an example, someone that everyone is familiar of, the premier of the province. The legislature plays a role of oversight on him and his executive as the people that are leading. How do we play a role of oversight when there are budgets that are given to departments? We scrutinize if those budgets are spent properly in the way that they should be spent. We check on the work that they do to say, hey, you said you were going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Has it been done? If it's not done, why is it not done? You must explain to us so that we can explain to the public, because all of these funds that are supposed to be utilized, it's public funds. So there needs to be someone that holds somebody accountable. So we are the cops, so to say, to the executive, to just hold them accountable and to ensure that there's transparency. So we also believe in public participation. We do public participation quite a lot, because we believe that you cannot necessarily be leaders of a society where you don't have engagements with them. There's a lot of things happening. Maybe I can make, for example, at this point in time, we saw the sketch of the e-hailing troubles that we were facing. And there's a bill that the minister has now signed to say that now there must be regulations in the e-hailing industry. That is a conversation that our people must be part of. Our ordinary commuters who are using the roads, the taxi associations, including the e-hailing organizations themselves. So public participation plays a role in that particular manner to say that, hey, there's these regulations that we're thinking of, and there are these things happening. What does the public think? Or at times to even go back to say, there's these decisions that have been taken. We just want to outline them to you and explain them to you, what they are and how they will affect you as the public, because whatever laws or regulations or acts that are taken, at the end of the day, they end up affecting our people one way or the other. So that then becomes part of our mandates as well. And then we also believe in cooperative governance. Cooperative governance in a sense that we are not a sphere of government that just exists in limbo. There are many different spheres of government, and if we do not pull together, we're not necessarily assisting anyone, because we'll be doing basically the same thing, but no one is speaking to the other, and it doesn't assist anyone. So we do believe in working and collaborations with local government. We've had collaborations with national governments as well. So just this week, we had what is called the NCOP Week, which is the National Council of Provinces Week, wherein our MECs and some members of certain oversight committees then join the members of parliament at national to just play their role of oversight, so that there is that scrutiny over the executive. And we do believe that that is important, so that there is no sphere of government that is just in limbo and not necessarily understanding what's happening on the other, because it does affect our society in a particular manner. So in general, that is our mandate as the legislature. I mean, we say your view, our vision, because we believe in the views of our people, and then that becomes the vision of the legislature, so that we ensure that your view is something that becomes a reality.
Speaking now specifically to the education portfolio that you hold, maybe if you could highlight a few points of interest within the awards. Do you feel like there were education nominations that were represented, people pioneering education within their own small spaces? I mean, the Vita Basadi Awards are about, people in the community really showing up for their community. So are there any stories that stood out specifically speaking to your portfolio that you're like, we need more community people like this, really just to encourage the people at home?
I would say, but to take it back a nudge, to say that we are in September now, which is dubbed International Literacy Month. It's one of my passions as a young person, because I love reading. So as the Portfolio Committee for Education, for one, we thought that it's quite important to go back to our communities and to have those conversations about the importance of literacy, because we understand that as a country, we have some challenges where you'd find that there are learners in grade 4, over 65% learners in grade 4 cannot read for meaning or understanding. And that becomes a problem for us. So part of the decisions that we took as a portfolio committee was to say, no, we need to go on a book donation to various schools, so that we can be able to touch those societies. So why I'm bringing this is because there's a young woman in particular who wrote a book, My Voice Matters, and I know that she was nominated in some of the awards. She's a young 27-year-old, Boitumelo Thage. So she wrote this book, My Voice Matters, where she speaks to young learners about how your voice matters as someone. You can be able to stand up for other people who can't stand up for themselves. And she also, again, in the book, is able to bring in stories of women who fought for our freedom, but also relating it to children so that it's relatable. So I know that she is one of the people that was nominated for the Vita Basadi Awards because of the work that she does as a philanthropist, and someone that also has a foundation called The Second Chance, wherein the focus is on trying to ensure that children do not go unfed. They fight also against gender-based violence. So I do believe that in the education sector, or in society in general, we do need many young women like her. But the work that we do as a portfolio committee in education, I also think that it's important, because what we do is to ensure that when we go to a school and we find challenges, we do not leave that school with those problems that we found. Ours is to ensure that the department resolves those problems. You know, we have over 2,000 schools in Gauteng. So at times, the MEC is not going to know what's happening in each and every school. So when we do our oversight just to check, is everything running smoothly, then we ensure that at the end of the day, there is something that is being done. For example, there's the school nutrition program that is done by the Department of Basic Education. And, you know, some people will take advantage, you know, business people will take advantage and say, and one school we went to, we found that they were supplying the school with food that is not in a good condition, that is not supposed to be given to people. So we were able to then intervene and ensure that the department removes that service provider, because you can't feed our children food that is not up to standard, especially with us coming from the challenges that we had with the food poisoning all around our province, you know. So we also ensure that when there's scholar transport issues, we do intervene. There are buses that you'll find at a school that has a huge hole and it's not roadworthy. So it can be worthy to transport our children when we have such a huge challenge of our children having accidents on the road going to school. So we are quite passionate about a number of things as the Portfolio Committee for Education, but what we ensure is that we hold the Department of Education accountable, and they do most of the time respond positively to what we raise as the Portfolio Committee.
Sure. What I'm hearing a lot of is when you hear provincial legislature, you hear accountability, you hear mini parliament.
Oversight.
Honorable oversight. Honorable Moipone Mhlongo, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
So we have award winners. But this is a guest, it's amazing. But we're winning the community awards. Remember, we're covering the Community Heroine Award, and we've got our runner-up, Sabatha Matlou. Hello.
Hi guys.
How are you doing?
Good.
Congratulations. The Vita Basadi Award, I think, is something that any woman would want to aspire to be somebody that's really affecting change in the community. Before we started recording, I asked you which year you were born, and it turns out she's much younger than all of us. And I said, oh my goodness, so much pressure. I need to do more, you know, and you've done so much. And if you could just walk us through the initiative that you have, how you started, and what's some of the work that you're doing.
So my name is Sabatha Matlou. I am 28 years and I am from Salvakop, representing Salvakop Youth Development Center. How it all started is just me pouring out all the experiences I've gained in my childhood. Yes, I was part of PEN Bible Club. I was part of Salvakop Drama Club that I'm actually now taking over, and I have been running for 10 years. This year we also celebrated 10 years of Drama Club. Like the awards, yes.
Great.
So Salvakop Youth Development Center is made up of youth from the community who volunteer their time to plan and execute activities, any activity for the upliftment of their community. And besides having to uplift the community and bringing in stakeholders, we do have our main events and activities that we have, which is Drama Club, Netball, and we also host annual Women's Day celebrations.
Empower Her,
which also gave birth to Empower Her Netball team. So they are both celebrating 3 years of success of operating.
Yes. What is it that you do at those events?
At the Empower Her event, it's just like a normal women's event seminar, but my focus is mostly calling in all the people that grew in Salvakop and are now successful out of Salvakop, and they live where else, and they are in different departments and doing their own beautiful things, and then I just bring them back in to motivate the kids who are still living in Salvakop.
Actually, that's something that stood out to me when I saw her video. A lot of women's events, you find grown women, and what stood out was the young faces that I saw there. So I like that you're calling people from the community to come and inspire the girls to say you can be in this community and come out of it better. I find that to be such a special touch.
Sure.
And come back and give back. Hey, it's important to give back.
Yes, it's important to give back. They say if you're lucky enough to make it to the top, don't forget to send the elevator back down. And this is what you're reminding people of, to say, send the elevator back down, come back home, and inspire other younger girls from the same community to say, Salva Kopu.
Hey, imagine
You know?
today I'm mapping because
Imo
I won
mapping.
on behalf of Salva Cup. I've never won an award, mind you, and I'm only winning it today because of Salva Cup. So
Sure.
I'm also thankful and grateful for the community as a whole.
Because you had to be nominated.
Yes,
So it is your
yes.
community giving you a thumbs
Yes.
up.
But Salva Kop, show her love in the
Please,
comment section.
please.
You're
But a
right.
celebration, ker ako na matlakasi.
And so maybe if we start at the beginning, what was going on when you decided to start the foundation? You know, where were you in life? What was it that you were seeing that you were like, this is what I'm going to do? When other people are going internship and what, this is what I want to do. I want to give back.
Back then, I don't think I was seeing anything, hey? I was not seeing anything. I was not seeing any vision. I was just there volunteering it. So there's a lady named Lali. She is the owner of, now she's the sponsor of my drama club, but she's the first person that came in the community and started this drama club. So she ran it for 15 years and I took over the last 10 years. So this year we're actually, as a whole, we're celebrating 25 years of drama. Wow. It's the only existing activity that has ever existed in Salva Corp. So it's also a privilege for me to carry on with it. And besides drama, as I've mentioned, I was part of PEN Bible Club. So they used to have a musical drama group that I was part of. I was never a main character. I think I became main character once, and it used to pain me in the chest. But I took all those experiences and made them one, combined both and made them one to be able to, go with time. I mean, we can't be dancing the dances that 10 years back. We need time change and entertainment change, but we are biblically oriented. We are Christians. We are God lovers. We are in the A team in heaven up there. That's why I was nominated. I was emphasized on God.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if there's somebody maybe listening at home and you're saying, if they're to contribute to some of the initiatives that you're doing, between the event that you host yearly, or the netball club or the drama club, there's so many, different branches that this initiative has taken. Where would you say you would like support, and how can they support you?
Guys, have I told you about my drama club? So the drama club, at some point I started losing interest, and I was like, when I came back on my feet, I was like, God, I need more than 100 kids. And this year I got more than 100 kids.
Sure.
So every year we host annual camps, 3-day camps, which are like 50 rand. The kids pay 50 rand because we get bus from Tshwane Bus Services, and we try to get other stakeholders. And since we were celebrating 10 years this year, next year I want jumping castles at the campsite. I just wanted to be a fun weekend, because we normally have it the weekend before the schools reopen, just to freshen up the kids' minds. Baba facing, they must know that it's okay to fail. It's another year, try again, go with a smile. Those spots, my holiday experience. Yes, the camp must be there on my holiday experience. So we would really love support mainly on the camps. Your sweets, cheppies, zimbas, meat, yonkinto, firewood, everything that can contribute into making the camp. Yeah.
And this happens, like you're saying, in January.
In January.
And then how do people get in contact with you?
Okay, we have a Facebook page, Salva Corp Youth Facebook. I can share my contacts, our secretary's contacts, my contacts, and then we can take it from there. We are actually not active on social media. We tried, but it was not reliable because people come in and out. What I always tell the youth is that if you are not willing to serve, then you don't belong. So people always pull back, and I continue with those who want to continue. And we've always had a problem with our media people.
Okay.
Because, that's why our media pages are struggling. Mara, we're working on it.
You're working
Yeah,
on it.
please.
So even a social
In
media
this age,
person,
Yes,
go Salva
Salva
Corp. Salva Corp.
Like I'm a Khalad, Salva Corp.
And so, even in that, if there's somebody out there who says, I can take on the social media element of this team, but you're saying on Facebook you're available and people can reach out to you there And thank you so much. Thank you so much for
you
being a
too,
community
guys.
heroine. Bong, is there anything else that you'd like to weigh in? Yeah, I really feel today was a day of a lot of inspiration for
Yes.
me, and just introspection to say, Ursula, here's
What are you
a lady
doing?
who's younger than you, and she's doing so much for the community, and she's
Yeah.
pouring so much back into the community. And so we honor you, we thank you. Vita Basadi Awards honors you, thanks you. Gauteng Provincial Legislature honors you and thanks you for
now
the
I
work
must
that
be
you do.
familiar with you guys. Now I
Yeah.
must, yeah.
Yeah, now you're entering. Now you're
I'm
entering.
entering.
So-
I'm not even entering. I've
You're
entered.
in.
Yeah. You've honored me. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Well done to
thank
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So still discussing Vita Basadi Awards. Remember, we're looking at the Community Heroine Award. And so we're chatting to one of the runner-ups, somebody that me and Bong are obviously very proud to have, being somebody from 18 Emoyeni, Zwokeng Zone 14, Mam Maria Oma Molefi. Hello, Oma.
I'm so blessed. How are
Sure.
you, my darling?
No, we are
Love you,
so
the love of the
good.
Lord.
Oh, thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. It was exciting when we were reading your profile to see the work that's also being done in a place that we both come from,
Yeah.
coming from the Val, and saying, man, it's nice what even our people are represented here. So we were very proud to chat to you. I know that locally people call you Mama Silo because
Yes.
your organization is called Silo. And
Yes,
so maybe
yes.
let's just start off with, what is the work that you do? Why are you here? Why have you been nominated for Community Heroine Award all the way to Gauteng Provincial Legislature? What were you called for?
Oh, my God. Thank you so much, my beloved. Greetings, everyone. I love you so much. My work is so broad. First of all, I work with destitute, people from disadvantaged families, these people who are staying on streets, those who are taking nyaupe. I just love to work with those people. I also work with autism children. I see them having potentials, yet other people think they are useless. I don't see any person who is useless in the category that I have just told you about, mentioned, because I saw these kids who are being rejected by parents, by the community. When you go to them, you love them, you give them food, you tell them that, let me tell you a secret, all of you, for today. Ne? The first secret is this: if we say love, we are not supposed to say love. We need to say love in depth of actions. Is when love works. But if you don't mention love in depth of actions, it doesn't work. Hence, we are working with this love in depth of actions, door-to-door ministry. There are a lot of things that we are doing. Over and above, we are teaching love. As it is, I'm saying,
Love in action.
love in action. There's nothing that we do except by acting love. We give people food, we give people clothes, we make sure that people are being motivated, they are being counseled who are in predicament. What I've seen is this: with this love in action, you don't say a word from the Bible, you act the word. And when you act the word, these people become aware that, oh, this is God, because you are doing exactly what God did. When I'm having money, I spend it for God. I spend it to make sure that people are fed, people get clothes, people get motivation, people are counseled. Counseling is my flesh and blood, without anything. When I started my center, I started with these words: do what you can with what you have, where you are.
But it sounds like you've been at this for a long time. And Hakibala Hutui Okajile as a teacher.
Yes.
Maybe how can Risa Kalong, like Arakale Kalong, what happened when you become a teacher?
Yo. So I thank you so much. You know what? I started teaching at Kwako, 2006.
Sure.
And then 1976. Okay, 1976. 1980, I came to Val. to a school of pedis. I didn't do pedi. I'm a Sotho girl, but I decided to be in that school. 4 years I was there. I was awarded Best Teacher of the Year by my principal, Konimbo One. As apparently you know that lady.
Yes.
She's still alive. I was dealing with slow learners. First time, hi fella. Bana slow go fella. They come to my class. But when December come December, 95% pass
Bamathakaphi.
from those kids
Sure.
who are labeled slow learners. So I did a lot of things at school. I did a lot of things. I was just like a mad woman. Hence, my principal would say, you know what? I don't know what is happening with you. You are wearing a heel, but you are doing all these things. The board in the office was done by me.
Sure.
I would cancel others. When it's year end, I would make sure that I help others with the closing of registers. I was an HOD, an HOD that loved people, that helped people, that would never say, "Why don't you do this for on your own?" I would do everything for. Until now, I'm still doing everything. At my center every day, people eat every day when they come.
Sure.
And I was never sponsored. I was never sponsored. Even by a businessman, I was never sponsored. But whatever that I have, I share it with community. Whatever that, I can rather mina ngingadli, but the other people should eat. And that's the thing that I saw it making me outstanding. Because truly speaking, each and every person says, me first. I don't know what is me first. When it comes to counseling, whoever who comes, I would have sessions, 100 sessions, but I would never say, give me 10 rand. Even today, when we come here, I said, my beloved, we are going to. They came with me. Did you see them? They are wearing the skippers of Syrian Institute of Love.
Sure.
God made a plan that they are inside the hall because they said, no, we'll wait for you at the parking, but we go with you. You don't care at what time.
Sure.
We don't know at what time, but we are going with you. They got a grace of being with you.
Event.
Bathabile.
We want to correct this element of you not getting any support. So, but maybe Bongo, you've got another question, but please do round off with the sentiment to say, if people want to support you, having said we're seeking throughout all these years,
Yes.
how do they get a hold of you?
Yes.
How do people get involved and say, this is an initiative, Mama Silo, we want to support you?
My darling, yes, correct it. Thank you so much. You have corrected it. And I wanted it to correct it because I didn't say something that is right. Because even my principal, every month, she's giving me 300 rand.
Sure.
300 rand. There is this woman, 90-something years, getting pension. She's giving me 100 rand every month. Every month. She doesn't compromise. She would say, Ise iliteng, come and fetch 100 rand. Fortunately, the checkers, on the 13th of February, I went to checkers. There are hearts that we have done that God said you need to make hearts. And these hearts, according to Psalm 51, it says, create in me a clean new heart. And I went with those hearts to those shops, chain of shops at Kakwanaka River, Vanderbale Park. We gave people hearts, each and every shop. We said, no, we don't want money. We just give you. Checker said, no. Don't you want food? I said, it could be a pleasure. Since they gave me food from that day till today.
Wow.
Sure.
The radiology, there's a Dr. Mashao. Dr. Mashao apparently asked one of my children that, don't you know any organization that we can help on Mandela Day? So that child of mine said, no, we are having an organization, Silo, blah, 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 blah. Every Mandela Day from last year, they came, brought blankets, brought food, brought clothes. So, you know, it is just God's grace that there are those people who will recognize you, that this person needs help, and they help you. You know, I do need help more than before, because presently I am planning to go out of the building to have a place whereby I have senior citizens, ECDs, a library. You know, I want to see people being taught love.
Sure. So Ma, you know, you've said a lot. You've really downloaded so much information and encouraged us to be agents of love in the world. What's your last message to community members that are listening, those who have capacity to help, those who need to be helped, everyone? What's your message?
My message is this, my beloved, do you know that love is the only solution of families, the only solution of work situation, the only solution of neighbors, the only solution of us going to eternity? As the community, let us hold hands together. Let us love one another deeply. Let us forgive. You know, forgiveness is power. But unfortunately, forgiveness is what people hate most. So if we can make sure that we love one another deeply, we forgive one another deeply, and we live by truth. You know, living by truth is living relaxation life, to be relaxed. Because you fear nothing, because you are always on the path of truth. So if we can make sure that we love one another, especially we as neighbors, we need to love one another. We as families, we need to love one another. The problem with families, they don't love one another. You'll find that they say it, but they don't do it. When the families are together, you'll find that the other one will say, I'm better off, I'm better off, I'm better off. At the end of the day, you'll find that there is friction in families, there is friction in work situation, there's friction even in churches. Even in churches, we don't love one another in churches because we don't understand what love is. But immediately we understand what love is, unconditional love, we are going to change the world. Remember, if you can carry love, you are a world changer. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And you'll make sure that you change the world. And you'll see people around you. They don't want to be away from you. They want to see themselves being together with me wherever I go. They stood outside there. They said, no, we'll stand outside. If they don't want to let us in, they will let in. Because love is having push.
Change.
So I just want to say, as the community, time has expired. Let us make sure that we understand love. Let us make sure that we teach ourselves love. Let us not think of this love, Maratan, because God's love is the only love. The only. It says that love is the only law. That is the best.
Sure.
So the will of God needs to be done for the world to change. But if we don't have love, with what? We don't have an instrument. We don't have any equipment to change the world.
Sure.
We can change the world if we can only understand what love is. Because love goes with forgiveness, goes with truth.
Sure. Love in depth of action. That was Mama
Love
C.
in depth of actions.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing in the community. Thank you so much for being really a light on a hill. That's the only way to describe you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was Mama Silo. We're definitely going to
Thank
leave.
you so much. Thank you, guys. I love you so much.
Love you too.
You are the best. I'm just excited. The smile. That's what I need most. Oh my God.
We're going to leave all the description boxes where how you can contact and get involved in her organization as well. And now we're going to be crossing over to our last segment. So as promised, we said eventually we'd get to the winner of the category of Community Heroine for 2025 at the Vita Basadi Awards. And here she is. Bo, 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 bo. I don't know if you guys can clearly see this, but we've got Robyn Roux. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
How are you feeling? Did you expect to win?
I think a whole lot of emotions, roller coaster emotions, but it's really, really a privilege and an honor and exciting. You know, it's always exciting. Exciting times, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I believe that your organization is called Geheel.
Yeah, Geheel Foundation.
Geheel Foundation,
Yes.
which means Women of Valor.
Yes.
Yeah, and so maybe just walk us through what exactly is it that your foundation does so that we can see why the adjudicators found you fit to win the award.
Well, yeah. Our foundation literally focuses on various social illnesses in the community. I think I would start briefly from the beginning, where I used to volunteer when I was in high school at our local soup kitchen, like we would have known it back then. And I got involved eventually as I became older and started volunteering. And as Auntie Bella passed on, she asked me to take care of everything. And I decided, okay, first I was a bit afraid and then I got involved. From there, I started seeing what the kids needed and, stationary school. So it wasn't just about eating, but then I also had a heart for mentoring and empowering our children because that was very important to me. We all know the drug addiction crisis in our country and gangsterism. So I really wanted to empower kids more and also teach them the fundamentals of education and the importance of it so that they do not get caught up in drug addiction and gangsterism, understanding that there is a way out and that we all come from there, but we make choices. But there are people that are there to help you. So, yes, and from there, you would obviously get visiting some of the children, them introducing to their gogos. So we started helping the gogos. We run an elderly club, health and hygiene awareness, drug awareness, mentorships for career guidance, life skills, just teaching our young people about life skills. And from there, we went into fashion because a lot of the young ladies that fell into drug addiction that we tried to help out said, but there's nothing for us to do. So then I decided, okay, tell me which lady doesn't like fashion. So I started a skill center called Flair, and that's where I'm dressed by today. We started making garments, teaching the young ladies pattern making and everything, and self-sustaining ways once they're done with school. And we had an amazing partners in beauty classes, makeup, photography, the whole enchilada around, making yourself feel good in and outside. So the mentorship was for in and outside. And from there, Coca-Cola came on board, helped me build a bakery. And we have a bakery now where we also have a number of young people coming to learn, but it's also part of economic development, job creation, and all of that. So, it just went from one thing to the next. From one care center, I don't call it soup kitchen. It's a care center because we really believe in caring in the kids. We went to 7 across Johannesburg. And, we're just growing every day. So my heartbeat is really to empower our kids, to show them that there is a better future and taking care of our elderly. We've also just started with my son's academy that he started last year for basketball. So that's something that I'm really trying to get going now through sport, just showing children that, sport, there's lots of our children love sport, but encouraging them through education and sport as well. So, yes, and every day I just take on a new task, because everything has a ripple effect. Nothing is, doesn't affect the next. So we beat health, whatever it is, we try and accommodate as far as possible.
Sure. You're really a community heroine here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the special thing that I am gathering with your initiatives is the sustainability part of it. Because whether it's people from correctional services, whether it's people from suffering with some addiction, or abandonment issues. About a lot of them, or a lot of people, it's about what next. You're taking me out or helping me out of this, but then how do I sustain myself and my life following this?
Me too. When we read about the profile, it was the sustainability element to it. Because I mean, not to take away from the work of soup kitchens, right? We need to deal with the hunger crisis at hand. But there's something about what happens after the meal, you know. So those elements of actually giving people skills, moving them into spaces of entrepreneurship, how to make money for yourself, I think is always something to admire. And to, if you could tell us, which area are you operating out of?
So we in the West Rand and in the South Rand. So we, like I said, there's 7 areas. Our main offices is in the south of Johannesburg, but we deal in El Dorado Park. We help around in Soweto, in Newlands, Westbury. We try and reach out as far as possible, you know, in the south and in the West Rand. Something I also just want to share with what you're saying about sustainability. For me, it's also important to give people a purpose. Because once you understand what your purpose is and the value of your purpose, you'll push yourself to do the best you can do. I mean, I was one of those children that stood in that soup kitchens when I started. And I just started volunteering, standing there, waiting for a plate of food. But I also thought, what could I do, you know? So when you find your purpose, I believe, and that's what our youth needs, finding purpose. And the sustainability is kind of, it's a bonus. But the main thing is to find purpose and to see yourself just grow and go beyond where your circumstances are currently.
What pushes you to do this? I mean, somebody else is looking at you like, where do you find the time and the heart to love your community that much? It becomes so easy to look away than to actually actively try to leave a footprint and a mark. So what makes you this person? What pushes you?
I think what really, really inspired me and pushed me was where I came from. You know, I came from a community where all I saw was struggle for most of my childhood life and gangsterism and all of that. But I also came from a home, from a grandmother that always used to tell us, you've got to take what you have and make the best of it and share. You know, she used to like buy 6 eggs and 4 of those eggs would go down the road. And I'm like, but we're already 10 in this house almost. What are you going to do with 2 eggs? And it would just work, you know. And she would teach me that you don't have to really just be subject to your circumstances. You can travel, you can do things. And at that time it was like pie in the sky. But as life went, you know, God had been my anchor. I would not have been able to do what I do without the grace and the love of God. And when I saw that I could do a bit of a change, you know, volunteer in the soup kitchen and then start having Christmas parties for the kids and seeing these smiles on the faces and them coming to me and saying to me, you know what, we need help at home. My mom's on substance. Can you get in a rehab? And starting to work and see these girls come from these circumstances, then start designing clothing and doing things. It really just pushes me more and more. And as I mentioned earlier on as well, that I lost my son 4 months ago. And when he was going through his most difficult time for 3 years, battling cancer, he would always say to me, Mom, what about children that doesn't have the support? I've got so much love and support around me. And that's when I actually grew the foundation even more 3 years ago, when I started doing more programs and more things. And people were saying to me, how can you do this in the midst of this? And I would look at him and say, it's this young boy. Even when I was in hospital, he would say, Mom, if you're buying me Legos, can't you get everybody in the ward Legos? Can't you do more for the kids that can't, you know, do for themselves or their parents can't do? And that would just push me and inspire me. And to be honest with you, in the last 3 years, I think that was it. The fact that my baby had so much support. And I remember us going to Reach for a Dream. And you know how that works. It's basically when they don't think you're really going to make it and they provide a gift for your child of his dream. And he said, Mom, why do we have to wait for something like this to happen, to make a child's dream come true. Because now my dream is going to come true. I have to go to chemo. I'm feeling sick. I can't even enjoy my gift. Why can't we do something for children on a daily basis to make their dreams come true so they can enjoy it?
Sure.
And he pushed me. He said, Mom, please. And that's when when he started this Kales Above the River Academy, which is under our foundation too. And we just started doing more for kids, because that made me think about, why do you have to wait to be almost on your deathbed before a child's dream can come true?
Yeah.
And also the support, as I mentioned, so many children doesn't have any support, and we see it every day. And being that change that you want to see is important to me. So I want to see change, so I've got to be that change that I want to see.
Sure, Robyn, you've quoted so well. Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. How do people get a hold? How do people get involved? If somebody's listening and saying, I'd like to chip in, or I'd like to support, how do people reach you and how do they get involved?
We have a website, www.geheelfoundation.co.za. And then we have our Instagram pages.
Maybe if you could spell that, Geheel, but we'll also have it in the description box. But because it's
if
quite...
you spell it, it's CHAYIL.
Yes.
And we have our website, we have our Facebook page, Instagram, LinkedIn, all Geheel Foundation. And that's one of the ways. And then, of course, I'll also share my contact details, some WhatsApp numbers and so forth that we can share.
Yes,
and
maybe just your LinkedIn profile, maybe not your contact number.
Okay, my LinkedIn, the foundation actually has a contact number, but the LinkedIn profile is just Robyn Roux.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share the foundation's number as well. If you don't know.
I don't know it off by heart
No,
yet.
but you can give it to us.
But
and
I can give it to you.
We'll just share it, yeah.
Absolutely. Robyn, thank you so much. Do you have any parting shots for the audience?
Yes, I would just like to say that, you don't have to wait for millions and thousands or even hundreds. Just take what you have and help make a difference in the life of one person. And if we can all just do that, it will be a ripple effect. And can you imagine how many people's lives we can touch each and every day?
Community Heroine 2025.
Thank you.
Robyn Roux, thank you so much for your
Thank
time,
you.
and thank you so much
Thank you,
for
ladies.
joining us. Aibu, guys, what a beautiful day. I am so inspired. I really, inspired is the word. I can't even think of one highlighting moment or one individual, but just overall feeling like, Ursula, you need to do more.
Yes. As I'm listening to the runner-up, and the winner, I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing to solve some of society's problems? I know we always think about them in the sense of entrepreneurship, right? But I don't think we've lost the gap, or there isn't an opportunity for us to think about solving problems in terms of our philanthropy, right? So I'm thinking, what are you doing? Because honestly, what are you going to say kids must do? They can't start businesses. They don't have that capacity as yet. So we can't necessarily, we can channel them, but we can't, for that moment in time, I'm hungry, or I need shoes, or I need clothes, or so it's like, what are you doing to make life better for others? Especially when you think about how we have these expenditures you can't track. As a person, you will spend 100 Rand there, 100 Rand there, 200 Rand there, but it's like, some of that money could have gone to use to someone who's quite in need, like that money where you're like, 100 Rand 200 you could spare some of those.
I'm thinking of Mama Silo, when Mama Silo said there's a pensioner who spares 100 Rand, and she knows it because it's consistent and it's 100 Rand that she can depend on. So I hear what you're saying, that you think that it's this extravagant thing that you need to do, but what about the simple example of being that pensioner or being that individual who commits to one person who says, I see your work and here's my 50 Rand.
Absolutely.
A 50 Rand that you can rely on and just know that it's going to come in.
But now what some of the institutions do, you pledge, every time you buy a meal, you pledge like a 2 Rand or this amount. I'm sure all of that builds up to become something quite big, you
Sure.
know? So it's like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Bonga, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Given, I know that you haven't joined us today, but Given has been around as well. This was today's episode of the Conversation Capital. Like I said, a very special episode. I don't know about you guys, but I know a lot of us didn't know what the Gauteng Provincial Legislature is and what it does before this episode. And we hope that we've really managed to shed some light on, you know, some of the organizational structures in our country and some of the beautiful work that's being done. So signing out from the Conversation Capital and the Vita Basadi Awards. Goodbye and God bless.